Yeah.
Sir, you're not audible. Since we have started the session, you're not audible.
Okay. I think I should be audible now, guys. Please confirm. It is audible, I believe. Okay, well, these things happen. Okay, let me welcome everyone once again. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining on this day 3 of this boot camp. And today, it's going to be a very interesting session. Today, we are going to be building so many things, practically implementing what we have learned in the last 2 days about borders, margin, padding, flex. We are also going to see properties like overflow. We are going to see transform, transition, position, and so many things. I hope you guys are excited. Let's get started. The first thing that I am going to be building is a very simple but an exciting looking this product card. This will test our knowledge of flex, margins, padding, border radius, and a little bit of pseudo classes as well. This will also integrate external fonts. Right? Shall we build it? Why not? So let's fire up our VS Code. I already have a folder by the name profile card. Let me create an HTML and CSS inside it, as always. HTML and a CSS inside profile card, right? Okay. So what are we going to build? We are going to build something like this. Keeping this in mind, let's start with the HTML. A wrapper div. Wrapper is nothing but a div that will be covering the whole of our body. Inside that will reside our main div. Let's call it card. Let me create the HTML first. I'll talk along what I'm creating, why I'm writing what I'm writing. A profile. This will contain the photo. An intro div. Intro. This will be the name and the headline. The social media handles. The CTA, call to action, and the numbers that you see at the bottom, 60K, 20K. This will be the HTML. Let's dive deep. Inside profile, we will have an image. So today I already have all the images. Let me show you. The image that we are going to use is not this one. It will be this profile JPG. If you remember from day one, absolute and relative path, I am here. I want to go inside images. First, I will be coming out of my profile card. Then I will be going inside images and then profile JPG. Let me show you how it looks right now. Right now, our page looks like this. The photo is in its original size. Well, that's fine for now. Fake name and a fake headline. Right? Let's talk about socials. And in socials, we will be having icons of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and different social media websites. That is, I'm talking about these. Right? How can we get these? How can we get these? Well, the easiest way to get these icons is Font Awesome. Font Awesome. If you Google Font Awesome CDN, Awesome. CDN. The first website that you're going to visit will be this CDN.js. Let's go to this website. All we need is this link, this URL, nothing else. Let's copy this. Let's go back to our VS Code. In the head section, let's paste what we have copied. We have copied this. No need to read it, just copy and paste, and we'll be fine. Now, going down below. So we need Facebook, we need Twitter. Let me show you how we can get these icons. So the Font Awesome website, the official website of Font Awesome is fontawesome.com. If you go inside icons, there you can search for whatever you want. So I want Facebook icon. I'll click on Facebook and I'll get this icon. All you need is this HTML. You need to copy this. You need to paste it in your HTML. It's as simple as that. I need Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. In the same way, you can search for and then copy paste whatever social media handles you need. Let's see how our page looks now. So we have the photo and we have all the icons and headings. So far, so good, right? Let's take it over here. This is the reference and this is what we are creating. Now we need the subscribe and the message buttons. That will be the CTA. You can create buttons. You can create anchor tags. That is entirely up to you. It will hardly matter. Creating an anchor tag is always beneficial if you want the user to click on it and to go at a different page. And if you want, when the user clicks on subscribe, they should land on a different page. If you want the user clicks on message, they should land on a different page. In that case, anchor will be much better than a button. CSS wise, there will be absolutely no effect. We can style these buttons howsoever way we want. Having anchors, however, will be beneficial in case of SEO. Last, certainly not the least, is numbers. Now, numbers is what? These. These also include icons from Font Awesome and plain and simple text. Numbers will have three divs inside them, 1, 2, and 3. Let's create them. Number, number, and number. Inside each number, let's have Font Awesome icon. I is specifically used for an icon. When we download icons from Font Awesome, although you can have them in any tag whatsoever, I tells Google that this is specifically an icon and nothing else. I tag or icon. I'm going to use icons for these. I'm going to use icons for these. Let's go to Font Awesome again. Let's see if we can get this heart. So we want this heart. Copy and paste. The easiest thing we can do. Also, along with this, we want a number that says 60K. Let's have a number which says 60K. Let's copy and paste it into the other divs as well. We'll change it, don't worry. Okay, so we want 20K here, we want 32K here. And we want a different icon here. I believe it's a message icon. Let me see. Let's go to Font Awesome. Let's search for message. So we want the circular one. Okay. Can't seem to find it. Okay. Let's see what we can do instead. Okay, it's a comment icon now. Okay, let's search for comment. Ah, there you go. This one or this one? This one. This one's better. Let's go to our web page. Okay, the last one is, okay, let me put it directly. This is share. Okay. So the last one is for solid, for share. Now, how do I know? Well, because I've created it before, you need to search for it. This is our HTML. A quick recap, we created a card div. This will be the div that will be in the center of the page. Inside that card div, we have 4 to 5 different sections or divs. Profile that will house the photo. The main heading and subheading. The social media icons. And the 2 buttons in green. And the numbers at the bottom. Okay, how our page looks? Well, it should look like this. It is looking like this as of now. So we have to convert this into this. Let's have some CSS magic, right? Oh, div means, oh, fantastic. Div means a division. I hope you joined first and second day. If you didn't, well, your loss. Okay, let's convert this. The first thing that I'll be doing is I'll be putting this blue color on body. Let's see if we can put this blue color on body. So the color will be okay. So the color is this. Background color hash 0077D6. You can put your own colors. You can do your own research. That does not matter at all. As you can see in the background, yes, we have that color. Now, we have to put this card in the center of the screen, both horizontal and vertically. Flex will help us do that. So the div that we have for this card is by the name card. We have to put this in the center. As I told you yesterday, flex is applied on the parent of the element where you want something to happen. So I want this card in the center, but I will apply flex on the parent wrapper. That is why I had this wrapper div. Because wrapper is an ID, I'll use hash wrapper. If it were class, I would have used dot. First thing, height. One important thing, one very good thing to know, 100 VH. VH stands for viewport height. And 100 VH stands for 100% of viewport height. That is the entire screen. Now the wrapper will have the height of my entire screen. 100 VH. Okay, let's see some questions. I will add radius. Don't worry. Change background color to blue. I've already done that. Just wait a few seconds. I will add radius. Okay, so height 100 ph. Display flex. That is how you can apply flex, right? Let's see if display flex does something. Well, right now, nothing much. It will. Along with display flex, because I want the card horizontally in the center. So justify content center. I also want it center and vertical. Align item center. Now let's see if we have something now. You can, however, see that the content has become horizontal here. Right? I want the card only 200 to 300 pixel in width and 300, 400 pixel in height. You have to apply width and height and the background color as well. So let's go to card. Let's focus on card now. card, I think is a class. The first thing that I'm going to do is apply a width of 300 pixels, apply a height of 400 pixels. Let's see if we get something there now. Yes. One very important thing to note here is photos, images. You have to explicitly tell the image how much width and how much height it should occupy. It will just not inherit the height and width of the parent. We have applied some width and height to the card, but as you can see, the image is not accepting that on its own. You have to apply width and height on images explicitly. This is something that you will always have to do. I will do that in a minute. On card, focusing on the card itself along with height and width. As you can see, it has a background color as well because I have done my research already. So this is the background color. You can see the borders in rounded of the card. So that will be due to border radius. Let's see if we can do something now. Not much. No problem. Yeah, card class only. You should have seen background color. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. So if you notice, see, this is the card. Only this much is card, but as you can see, the photo is exceeding the card. It will always happen with images. What we can do? We can do this. We have to apply width and height specifically to the image. Now, the image is inside profile. So we can access the image like this. If you remember nesting from yesterday's class, dot profile space image. That image which is inside profile class. That image which is inside profile class. So let me apply a width of 120 and height of 120 pixels. Let's see what happens now. This is important. There you go. Now, is it getting shape or not, guys? Any reason of doing it compulsory explicitly? Tushar, I do not understand your question. As parent is card, so we cannot decide with the image. 100% width and height, Swapnil will take it all the way of the card. We don't want that. The image has to be round and the image has to be in the center, right? Like this. Also, you can see a border around the image. So we have to apply all that. Let's see if we can do that. A very, very, very simple way to make any object circular in CSS is this. There is no direct property to make a circle in CSS, but you can do a circle. You can create a perfect circle by applying border radius on a square. By applying border radius on a square, how much border radius? 50%. If you note, I first applied same width and height to the image, 120, 120. That is making it a square. Now border radius 50% will do this. And ta-da, this is a perfect circle. This is a perfect circle, is it not? I want this image in the center of the screen and I want some padding at the top. Don't I? I can do that very easily. Well, as a matter of fact, first, well, this assignment is not compulsory. Let me tell you this. It's a practical session. Practical is the only way to understand things better. That is why this session. We'll have 2 more sessions after this. And yes, border radius, I've already applied it. Right? So yes, I want the photo. Well, I want everything in the center of the screen, as you can see here. Don't I? to put everything in the center, I can very simply apply text align to the card itself, to the parent card itself. If I do that and go back to the browser, this is what you get. Now, of course, I want some space at the top, right? I want some space at the top. I can do that. I can apply padding to the card. I hinted about absolute units and relative units yesterday. Some of you very rightly pointed out REM percentage, right? I told you using relative units is better. I am using relative units today. So padding from top and bottom is 2 REM, which is in simple terms 32 pixels. 1.5 REM will be 24 pixels. Using this over this is better. Why? I'll leave that. If I do this, go back to the browser, here you go. You have space up, you have space bottom, left and right. I want border around the image, right? Let's see if we can have that. You have border around the image, and if you have noted, the border is a little bit away from the image. To make that little bit gap, I'm applying a very small padding. Now border 2 pixels solid. I already have the color, which is this. Let's see if we can get something. There you go. Okay, want a session on JavaScript and React? I'll definitely pass on your concern to LetsUpgrade as well. Good. Thank you. Sure, if you like the session, fantastic. Okay, let's see. What else? If I take a look in the reference, we talked about font yesterday, didn't we? Now this font is looking very much different than this one, right? Because this is the default Times New Roman and this is Roboto. If you remember how to get fonts, we can get fonts from Google Fonts. So if I go to Google Fonts, which is fontsgoogle.com, if I search for Roboto, which is this, if I click on get font, if I click on get embed code, now, okay, it also includes pop-ins and all. I don't want pop-ins. Okay, so which one I want? Okay, once. Okay, so there are 3 fonts selected. I don't want 3 fonts. I only want Roboto. Okay. Let's select Roboto again. Now I'll have only Roboto. Fantastic. Let's copy and paste. Copy and paste, we know, don't we? Again, in head section, copy and paste whatever you got. Let's go to the CSS. Let's apply font family Roboto. Let's go back. There you go. Now the font in both the things is same. Yes, that the space is not. We'll do that. You can also see that what I'm creating, the card is looking bigger than the reference, isn't it? The reference has a card smaller, this card is bigger. Well, there is something very important that we need to discuss, and it is called the universal selector. The universal selector. Thank you, Zia. Thank you, Ayush. Fantastic. Universal selector. I'm writing 3 lines in universal selectors. Well, these are the very, very, very standard lines. Outside the box. Yeah. if I do this, if I now go to the browser, now the height and width are exactly the same, aren't they? Of the card, the height and width of the card, right? Because of JavaScript React sessions, okay, how to download certificate. Let's upgrade will tell you that. Desire for more extensive content, definitely. Thank you. Now the height and width, they both are the same. Let's now focus on these. Well, if you are wondering what exactly star does, star or universal selector, whatever you write inside this, whatever you write inside star, will be applied to all the elements in your HTML, to all the elements, right from the wrapper to the last element. That is what star does. So what I have done, I have taken away any default margin if any element has, any default padding if any element has a default padding. Why the box was looking bigger, all the headings have default margins and padding associated with them, making the box bigger. I just removed everything at once using star. So now both the box, both the cards are looking of exact same width and height. Let's focus now on getting the content in shape, right? Let's start by this distance between the image and the height. Sorry, heading, Tom Cruise. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's focus on this div intro. So what I'm doing is I'm putting some space on the top and on the bottom of intro, that is margin top and margin bottom. So this is a practical use of margin. 1 rem means 16 pixels. 1 rem means 16 pixels. That is why you see 2 rem meant how much? 32. If I go back to the browser, you can now see space, right? Some space between Tom Cruise and full stack developer as well. So intro H2. Now we are focusing on H2 inside intro. Let's apply some margin bottom to it. 8 pixels or 0.5 rem. I think it will be larger. Let's make it 4 pixels. That is 0.25. You can see that this full stack developer tech enthusiast is coming in 2 lines. However, in the reference, it is in single line. It is in single line because the font size is smaller here. The default font size here is 16 pixels. So let me make it a little bit smaller than 16. For H4, let me make the font size 14 pixels. There you go. Good to know, Nani77. Thank you very much for the appreciation. So yes, it is taking shape. Now let's focus on the social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So we want them some distance apart. We want them circular, and we want different background colors on each. And yes, for that, we'll have to do some coding. Let's focus on social. I think the div was called social. Yes, it is called social. Let's apply some margin. Margin top, margin bottom. That is some spacing to separate it from other elements. I will not tell you how much this is in pixels. You'll have to do the calculations. What it will do, as you can see, some space, right? On the top and on the bottom. Now, let's focus on these. I want border radius 50% on all four, that is circles on all four icons, but different background color on all fours, right? Let me make use of pseudo classes here. Let me make use of pseudo classes first. How to download certificate? Well, Let's Upgrade will tell you that. Request for clarification on adding app icons to the project. Okay, so I believe you are asking how did we add the icons? Tushar, the reason for using REM, I discussed it, I believe, in yesterday or day before yesterday's class. Using relative icons is always better. Relative units is always better than absolute units. It is good for media queries, responsive design. So, Ajmil, let's give you a refresher on these icons. So, these icons are font awesome. The first thing I did is I went to Font Awesome CDN. I googled Font Awesome CDN, which took me here. Then I simply copied the link tag from here, pasted it in my HTML right here. This is the HTML what I copied. After copying this, I went to Font Awesome's website, which was fontawesome.com. If I wanted when I wanted Facebook, I searched for Facebook. I got this and simply copy pasted this tag right here. There you go. Fantastic. Let's move on. So as I was saying, now I will use pseudo classes to apply a different background color on this, a different background color on this, background color different on this. You can, yes, you can apply, let's say, a class called FB to it, and a class called X to it, and a class called Insta to it. You can do that. Yes, you can very well do that. You can apply a LI class to it, might be. But that way, you will not understand pseudo classes then. It's a very good opportunity for me to understand, to make you understand pseudo classes. So let's stick to pseudo classes, right? Yes, the background color on all these will be different, but there are some similarities, right? They have the same height and width, they have the same border radius, don't they? So let me first focus on the similar things. So the I tag inside social, I is just another tag, don't worry about it. It's just like a paragraph, a span, a div, anything. So let me apply some width on it. Let me apply some height. The thing to note here is I'm applying same width and height to make it a square. Sorry. Border radius 50%. So that will make it circular. Let's apply font size. The default font size is 16. I'm making it a little smaller to 14. And I want some gap in between, right? Margin left and right. This time margin left and right. 4 pixels from the left and 4 pixels from the right. Let's see. There you go. Not looking good? Well, they will. Color. This is white. FFF is white. Fair enough. Okay. Let's now apply background color and different background color on each of them. If I try and apply a background color, let's say I try apply the background color of Facebook, which is 3B5998. If I do it right here, if I do it in social I, you will see it being applied to all 4 of them. I don't want it applied on all 4 of them. I only want this blue color on Facebook, as you can see. So this will not work. So that is why I will not apply it here. Rather, now, please pay attention to what I'm doing. Pseudo classes might look weird in the first glance. अजीब सी लग सकती हैं. Yes, they might look a little bit weird. Social I, nth of type. nth, it is pronounced as nth of type 1. What I'm simply saying with this is the first I inside the div social. The first I inside the div social, apply this background color only on that. So when I go to the browser now, well, you can contact me right here, Siad. Write your queries. If you want to contact me about anything, well, write them right here. Shoot. Very similarly, I can apply different background colors to nth of type 2, nth of type 3, and type 4. Pseudo class for you guys. So let me very quickly apply background colors. If you are thinking how I got these background colors, well, do your research. And a simple Google search. Background color of LinkedIn, brand color of Instagram. That's how I got these colors. If I go to the browser now, there you go. Let's take some questions. Asmil, you want me to re-explain something? Sorry, what was that? I name that you have taken is a class name, right? Yes, Tushar, that is the class name. Yes. So I have different background colors, but one thing you might have already noticed, the icons are not in the center of that circle. The icons are not in the center of the circles like they are here. And not looking good, right? Flex will come to our rescue here as well. Flex will come to our rescue here as well. So what I want is, let me open up the inspect element for this one. So this is social I. This circle is social I. I want this one, whatever this is. Let's not focus on what is it. I want this F to be in the center. So I will have to apply flex, not on this before, but on I, as flex is applied always on the parent. Flex is applied always on the parent. Let's try and apply this display flex. I want the icons in the center of the circle, justify content center, align item center. Ooh. Yes, the icons are in the center, but you can see the circles now are vertical. Well, that is fine. We can apply flex on even parent element. I applied flex on these four. Sorry, I applied flex on these four. I can now apply flex on social. So let's go to social. Let's apply display flex. You will see them horizontal, but not in the center. No problem. Let's apply justify content. I hope you're getting this. So this is the guys. This is what practical flex looks like. Applying flex practically looks like. If you are finding it interesting, guys, do leave a thumbs up in the chat, please. Because this is what practical looks like. We will now focus on the buttons. Oh, thank you. Govardhani and Ayush. Thank you. Let's now focus on the buttons. The first thing I'll focus on, some space, top and bottom of the buttons. If you remember nesting from yesterday's class, I want the same margin and padding which I had on social. The same margin and padding which I had on social, I want on CTA as well. Let's apply some grouping. Social, CTA, both will have same margin and padding. Now, social will have margin top of this much, margin bottom this much, as well as CTA will have margin top this much, margin bottom this much. You can see some gaps, right? But now I want to focus not on CTA, but on the anchor tag inside it. That is the subscribe button and the message button. I want a background color. So the background color is this 0926C. I want some padding. I want some margin, that is space. So margin right, margin left. And I want some border radius. And white color. All of that will give me some questions. Okay, button tag as an alternative, as I mentioned. Gum, yes, we can take button tag. We can very well take button tag. Thank you, Tushar. My idea behind these buttons is that whenever the user clicks them, it will take them to a different page. It will take them to a different page. My idea is this. When you want the user to be navigated to a different page, use anchors. When you just want, on the click of a button, some div to open up, some pop-up box to open up, then you can use button. So my idea is clicking on these will take the user to a different web page. So anchor tag. But yes, if you want buttons, you can use buttons. The CSS will remain the same. I am removing the underlines. Yes, Tushar, you will get the code, and I hope you got the code for yesterday and David for yesterday as well. I shared that in LetsUpgrade. I will share today's code as well, so don't worry about the code. So to remove the underline, we have a property called text decoration. I am setting it to none. I don't want any decoration. That is, I don't want the underline. Let's now focus on these three. I hope you're finding it interesting, guys. Let's now focus on these three, on the numbers. First thing, yes, I want them horizontal. Yes, I will use flex. So the div is, I believe, numbers. Yes, it is numbers. Numbers will have display flex. That will make them horizontal. You can see they have shifted to the left-hand side. No worries. Now, the thing to note here is, I want this bar as well between them. This bar, right? This, whatever you want to call it, border. It's actually a border. So I want this border. Keeping this in mind. And yes, I want these buttons in the center. Right now, they are shifted to the left-hand side. If I do it like this, there you go, in center, but they all are stuck to one another. Let me do this. So inside numbers, I have number div. So the div number inside numbers, singular and plural. Let me apply. See, this is important, guys. Let me apply 33% width to each number. So what is happening here? Each number div has 1/3 area of the entire numbers. There you go. This is what actual web design looks like, guys. Each div, each number has 1/3 area of numbers of their parent. Yes, line was because of the anchor tag. So can I know why was there default underline in it? Tushar, underline always, anchor tag always will have default underline. You will have to remove anchor tags by default have underline. Yes, Gangnam, I will apply border right to it. Fantastic approach, buddy. Let's apply border. Right, individual border. We discussed it yesterday. Let's see if we can apply some border to it. 2 pixel solid black. This is black. Yes, we have the border. However, I can see 3 borders. I only want 2 pseudo classes to the rescue again. See, guys, this is a practical approach how you can solve things. What I want is I want the border after the first number. I want border after the second number. I don't want border after the last div with class number. As I mentioned, last div with class number. You can use this nth of type, right? Not radius, border type. And you can do this. Okay. So there you go. You can do this. Let me share another thing with you, another pseudo class that will help us here. Which one to use is entirely up to you. You can use this as well, last of type. Because this third number is the last one. This also says that number div, third one. This one will also say the last number div. And the last number div that we have is the third one. So you can use any. And we have a working card for us. If you liked it, guys, do leave a thumbs up. Can we apply border left and right for middle element as well? Oh, yes, Ellie. It's entirely up to you how you think of it. I wanted to use pseudo classes, so that's why I did this. But yes, your suggestion is very good as well. Good one. Now, if this one tested our knowledge of pseudo classes, flex, and margin padding, the next assignment that I have will take us even one step further. In the next assignment we will be learning about transform and transition as well. Are you guys ready? Let me show you the next assignment. This is the next assignment. This is not all. Ta-da! Many of you requested transform transitions yesterday. Let's have it done. Let's create this one. We are running low on time, so I'll be a little quick. I hope you liked the first assignment. If you did, you will love the second one even better. Excuse me a second, guys. Well, okay. How to prepare portfolio, sir? Gandham, let me tell you, you can use websites like Canva. You can use websites. There are many websites on the internet right now. Don't create your portfolio from scratch. Take inspiration from Canva and many other websites. You will find very good templates. Just add your details, your projects to them. That is the simplest, quickest, and easiest way to get started. Let's get started with this one now. So I have created the HTML and the CSS. Always remember to have universal selector in all your CSSs. Remember this by heart and use this in each and every CSS that you create. Let me go ahead and see what we have. So what we want to create is this. Right now we only have this. Okay. So once again, first thing, background color on the body and a card in the center. Let me first create the HTML. So this will be the HTML. We have the productive. We have an image div inside that and a content div. Let me tell you which is which. This will be the image div, the div that you see on the top, and the div that is doing the up and down, that will be the content div. Shortcut for moving tags from single line to multiple line. I did not understand the question. Let me see. Tags from single line to multiple lines, sir. Tushar, I do not understand your question much, but let me. In CSS file, I did. Okay. So what I did actually, Tushar, was this format document. I used this shortcut, Shift Alt F, right? If the universal letter margin padding is 0 only, then why to write? What's the use? The margin and padding is not 0 by default, Asmil. Let me give you a very quick example. Please note here, Asmil. So let's say if I have a heading. Let's go to the browser, right? If I open up the inspect element, let me show you. Can you see the orange color on the top and the bottom? Well, that is about 20 pixels of margin as well. By applying margin 0, padding 0, I delete these default margins from all the elements. So, yes, you have to use margin 0, padding 0. It is not 0 by default. I hope you get that. And Tushar, I answered your question as well. The HTML in this one will be very important. If you get the HTML right, this will be an easy peasy. If you don't, well, good luck. So image will only have an img. I already have the image. I think it is, profile JPG. Image will have only this. Rest will, everything will be in the content. Okay, so yes, I'm using semantic tag, guys. Why? Well, just for the fun of it. I want the rupee symbol. So what I'll do is, once again, I'll go to Font Awesome. First, the link. I'll copy the link in my HTML. There you go. I'll copy the link. Then I'll go to the Font Awesome website. I'll search for rupee or INR, whichever gives me. Let's search for rupee. There you go. Let's copy this. Let's paste it here. So what do we have? Oh, I think we have copied the wrong photo. Okay. I think it was the wrong photo then. This one is the right photo. There you go. This is what we have. Let's very quickly understand the rest of the content. Okay, so what do I want now? Well, it's content, nothing much. So let me put it very quickly. There you go. What I did these things, these sizes, XL, L, SM, these. Now for the colors, let me put that very quickly. So I have colors. Okay. Color chart. I'll take your questions, guys. Don't worry if you're asking questions and I'm not looking at them. Don't worry, I'll do that. Oops. Green, we have purple, we have light blue. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, so I made a mistake. Actually, these have to be the classes. This. Green, purple, and light blue. Okay. Okay, last but not the least, let's have an anchor tag which says add to cart. Yes, you can have button here as well. That is entirely your choice. So what do I have? I have this not so good looking. Well, that's what CSS is there for. So I'll have to convert this into this. We have to convert this into this. I hope you guys are excited. Let's take some questions. Code related to border box. Okay. Use your small tag. Okay. SEO relevance, possibly seeking context. Okay. Small automatically gives you a smaller font size than 16. Small automatically gives you text in 12 pixels. I did not want to use CSS for this, so I just used small. You can very simply use a paragraph. You can use a paragraph and then in CSS apply font size 12 to it. Small automatically does that for you. The choice is yours. You can have a P here and apply a class to it maybe, and then say in your CSS dot small font size 12. You can do that. Or if you remember it, you can use the small tag. How to get the code? Gangnam, the code will be shared to you in the all-in-one documentation right after this class. Okay, so do check all-in-one documentation 2 to 3 minutes after the class. I shared code for yesterday and day before as well. And I'm using header tag, yes, for better SEO. It has nothing to do with CSS. A simple div would have done the job as well. Header will make Google like our page even more. Okay, let's go ahead. So the content is this. Let's go to CSS. Let's have the div in center. Okay, once again, let's apply background color to the wrapper. The background color this time is simple light blue. Again, the height will be 100 ph. I already explained what this means. Because I want the div in the center, so display flex, justify center, align item center, not align content, align item center. In center, fantastic. Right? Let's apply some width and height to the product. So the width will be 50 pixels. Yes, this one will have a height a little bit more. This will be 350 pixels. Let's see what we got. Here you go. Not looking good, but we're getting there. Let's also apply some background color, white, some border radius because we want the corners to be round. We also want position. Why we are using position? I'll tell you in a minute. So this is what we have. Not looking good at all. है ना? Not looking good. Let that be. What I want is, see, this is 350 pixels only. Yes, our box is looking bigger, but yeah, this is 350 pixels in height. Height I'm talking about. As you can see, the width is 250, height is 350. Out of this 350, this image will have 70% height. This image will have 70% of height. The rest 30 will go to content. The rest 30 will go to content. Let's see if we can do that. Out of this 350, the image div, image which is inside product, yes, image which is inside product will have width, it will have of the parent, 100% of the parent, but height, just the 70%. As I told you with the last assignment, you have to tell images how much width and height they have to tell. They have to use explicitly. You have to tell images. So I'm telling the image, use this much width and use this much height. This is very important part which you need to understand. By doing these, let's see what happens. This is what happens. But yes, you can see the shirt is a little bit stretched out, isn't it? The shirt is a little bit stretched out in here. Of course, I can use padding. I can use padding on the top and on the left and right hand side. I can do that. I will do that, in fact, but let me tell you some a very good property along with padding. First, let me apply some padding. From top and bottom, it will be 10. From left and right, it will be 25. So there you go. Still, you can see that the image is a little bit stretched out. Very good and a new property that you apply on images is object fit. Also read this. Object fit is usually applied on images and it tells the browser whether to stretch the image or not. So I'm using object fit contain. Object fit contain will tell the browser, do not stretch the image. When I do this, there you go. So object fit contain did this. Let me show you practically. If I remove it, this is the image. Object fit contain. I hope you like this. Okay. You can see the add to cart going out of the box, right? And we can see add to cart. As a matter of fact, in the original, in the reference, I cannot see these until I take my mouse over the image. I cannot see these until I take my mouse over the image. I hope you get this. I only see the brand name and the price. I only see the brand name and the price. And along with that, there is a border here, right? There is a border right here, if you can see that border. So the point is, I have to take these sizes, colors, and this add to cart below the white box. I have to take these out of the white box. Let's do that. Okay, I'll be a little bit quick, guys, because we are running out of time. And feel free to ask any questions if you want. We touched a little on box shadow. Can you see the shadow below the image and above brand name? That is what I have done with text with box shed. Let's apply some flex on this and let's separate them. So I believe it is H3. Yes. I want these two separated. So I'll apply flex on the parent H3 display flex. The easiest way to separate them is space between. There you go. Let's also make them bold. If you remember from yesterday's class, font weight. Oh, I think we have font. We have to use some font as well. So let's go to Google Fonts. Google Fonts. We have Google Fonts. Hold on. Let's go to Google Font. The font that I'm using here is called this. For no particular reason, you can use any other font as well if you like. Let's paste it here. Let's go to our CSS and let's apply the font onto the whole product. So font family will be Sense. If I go back, there you go. Looking somewhat like this. Yes, now I have to change the color of women designer shirt. As you can see, it is grayed out. In ours, it isn't. Let's do that very quickly. So I believe this is the small, yes. Content small. Let's do that. The color is E3, E3, E3. This is a version of gray. Let's have some margin bottom as well. This will make it like this. However, the main thing is I have to take everything else below. I have to take everything else out of the box. Out of the box. One very important property, guys. A very important property. Overflow. A very important property is overflow. See, what is happening is I already applied a height to the product, which was 350 pixels. Right? What I want is anything going outside this 350, anything which goes outside this 350, I want it not to be displayed. I want it cut off. For that, I will try and apply overflow hidden. And yes, I want the sizes to be gone as well. I want the sizes to be gone as well. For that, I'll simply apply some margins, some paddings to these. Well, okay, because we are running out of time, let's not go there. Overflow hidden. If I apply it on product, overflow hidden. Oops. Well, where exactly did the content go? Nowhere. The content is right here. It is just not visible to us. The content div is right here, as you can see, just not visible to us. The part of content which is outside this 350 is just not visible. That happens with overflow. Let's apply a pseudo class hover now. You can call it hover, you can call it hover, that does not matter. Let's apply a pseudo class hover. What I want now is that whenever I hover over this div, whenever I take my mouse over this div, then I want this thing to come up. I want this thing to come up. For that, I first have to take this div down. In order for me to take this div up, I have to take this down first. This concept is something that you need to understand. In order to take this up, first I have to take this down. And that is where a very powerful and important property, position, comes in. Position. What I'm doing here is I'm applying a property called position on content. Where do you apply position? Whenever, just keep one thing in mind. Whenever you want an element at your place of choosing in the browser, whenever you want some element where you want it, you use position property. When you want an element, not where it is appearing, but where someplace else that you want, you use position property. It's the simplest definition of position. I want this content someplace else, so I'm using position. Yes, along with position, I'll have to use width so that it shrinks. Oh, okay. There are some things that I'm doing very quickly, guys. I know you will feel a little bit out of sync, but because we are running short of time, we have. The chat is dried up. Okay, no problem. So I've used position relative on product and position absolute on content. Why? So that I can have the content div the same width as the product. If I did not use relative on product, you can see the content going out of sync. I did not want that. So position relative on product. Now, let me apply a property called top on the content. Let me apply 80%. What top does? Top 0 will do this. Top 1%. Top will simply push the div from the top. You have top, you have bottom, you have left, you have right. I'm using top to place this div wherever I want, and that is the exact definition of position. So wherever I will want it, I will put it. So I will use top 80% because I only want, okay, let's have this 82. Because I only wanted to show the brand name and women designer shirt, nothing else. Top 82%. Let's apply this on content. Top 82%. But when someone takes their mouse, takes their cursor and hover over the product div, pseudo class hover, nth of type, last of type, you read about these. Now another pseudo class called hover. You can call it hover, you can call it hover, that does not matter. What happens to content when someone hovers over product? Line 42 says, means this. What happens to content when someone hovers over the product? So when someone hovers over the product, the top from 82 will become 32%. Let me tell you all about it. Right now, the top is 82, but when I hover, the top becomes like this. Right? This is what I have done. This is what I have done. However, this is not transition. Transition is when you see the div coming up and going down like this. Transition is the smooth change. Transition is the smooth change. One last thing to do. Because I want the top property of content changing. I want the top property to change. I want the top property to change smoothly. That is exactly what transition does. I want the top to change, but I want it to change smoothly. And that is exactly what is done with the help of transition. So I want the top property to change smoothly. I want it to change in 400 milliseconds. This is time. This is the property that you want to change. This is the time. When you do this, when you go back, without transition, you saw this was happening. Right? With the transition, this is what will happen. I know I haven't applied CSS to it. That you can do. Transition for you guys. If you want it even slower, I can do it in 800. There you go. Smooth. This is what smooth change is. And that smooth change is what is known as transition. I am not applying CSS to it due to lack of time. You can do that. Don't worry, you will get the full code. You will get the code where you have the transition. The chat is dried up. Any questions on this particular topic, guys? This particular assignment? Anything that you want to say, ask, and tell. Now's the time. Okay. I guess we have done much for today. Huh? Chat is dried up. No problem. Let me apply very quickly the CSS to it so that you know what we are talking about. Okay, if you want portfolio Gangnam, this is a link for you. Please note the links in the URL. I cannot send it to you right now. You have to check it for yourself. There's another portfolio. One of my student only. These are some of the portfolios that you can take a look at. The URL is this. Okay. And the URL is this. So I was applying the CSS. The app is Versal, Tushar. Go Google it. Bercel. The app is Versal. So a little bit of CSS magic will take us a long way. Like the questions, population reversal, integration. Well, I have another assignment for you, which is this: a drop-down menu which uses position, margin, padding, flex, and pseudo classes. Unfortunately, we don't have much time left. Don't worry, I will provide all of the codes. You can definitely take a look at the code of this drop-down menu. This will help you understand what positions are, how to use positions. And yes, Gangam, about media queries, you will find media queries applied in this very example only. Right? Let's see if we can talk about media queries a little bit. 1 second. Let's okay. Down. Let's copy this. Let's upgrade. Media queries is what makes a page responsive. That is, the web page should look good in a larger device, in smaller device, and in phones. That is what media query does. That is what media query is. This particular page looks like this when I open it in a big laptop screen. But if I try to open it in a phone, how will it look? If I try to open it in a phone, this is what it will look like. Not good, of course. Tushar, the code from day 1, day 2, and today, you will find it in the all-in-one documentation, the link to which should be in the description, and it also is pinned to this chat as well. Please do take a look at that, Tushar. Media queries is what you apply to make this page from this not good looking page to a good looking page. Okay, let me do this very quickly. So the page looks good in laptop. This number that you are seeing here, this is the width. Please note the width when you see something wrong happening with this page. So, okay. At 800, we can see the code getting messed up, don't we? Let's go ahead. Let's open drop down. So this is the CSS. Don't worry much about the CSS. This is how we write media queries. Gangam and other guys, please pay attention. This is how you write media queries. And media, all, and. So we saw that our page got messed up at about 800 pixels. So that is why I'm going to use 800 pixels. Yes. Now, the reason for this messing up was shortage of space, because there was no space between things, between elements. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce these empty spaces. For that, I'll have to figure out how or from where are these empty spaces coming, and you can see that I have paddings of 32 pixels from left and right. So what I'm going to do is, at 800 pixels and below, padding left, instead of 32 pixels or 2 rem will be 1 rem, 16 pixels. Padding right will also be 16 pixels. Okay, so we are opening the wrong page. The correct page is this. So please pay attention what I have done. Right now, the margin between home and service is 32 pixels, left and right margin. But as soon as I go below 800, can you see the distance getting shorter? Well, this is media query in action for you. This is media query in action for you. Below 800, you can see the padding left and right 16, right? Yes, even if I go even further, at some point, this home will collide with drop-down menu. This home will go inside drop-down menu. There you go. And this happens about at 700 pixels. Let's go ahead in the CSS. Let me write something else. This time 700 pixels. There is one single rule for media queries. All things horizontals must become vertical at some point. All things horizontal must become vertical at some point. So I'm going to do that right now. So why is this nav horizontal or this UL horizontal? Well, that is because of the flex applied on header. Let me go ahead and do this. Below 700 pixels, header will have flex direction column. We talked about it yesterday. Okay, so we have a height as well, I believe. Oh yes, height 50. Height auto. There you go. Below 700, you will see it like this. Above 700, you will see it like this. Media query in action for you guys. This is a very short tutorial for you on media queries. This is just an introduction for you on media queries. I hope you like that, guys. What I did was this. Few lines of code, and we have ourselves a very good page. So we have touched upon margin, padding, flex, pseudo classes, borders, and we sneak peeked onto position and media queries, guys. I hope you like these sessions. I hope you will join for future sessions as well. We will try and to go into details in these sessions. That will be all for now from my side. I wish you each and everyone best of luck. Thank you, guys.